The Leontes story and the Perdita story, in various ways, re-scrambles a story that's very familiar to us, the story of Oedipus. It doesn't have the parts that Freud made most famous and made central, but it has a lot of the story elements that were there, not just Oedipus's stories, but the stories of many other classical heroes. Interestingly here, a heroine. We have a king, there's a prophecy involved. Shakespeare is different because in this case the prophecy tells the king, don't do that, where usually the prophecy makes the trouble. Usually a king hears a prophecy about a child who will overthrow him someday, often hasn't even been born yet, and then tries to stop that from happening, gives instructions for the child to be killed. Child is not killed by the servants, but in fact left and found usually by shepherds, occasionally sailors, mostly shepherds. Here we have the shepherd thing. This is coming back. It's coming back again. This is the story of Oedipus. This is the story of Romulus and Remus. This is the story of Perseus. This is the story of various other important. It's the story of Cyrus, Emperor of Persia, who was a very big deal to the English Renaissance. They thought Cyrus was the bomb. He's a very important cultural figure to them. This is the story of Voldemort and Harry Potter, because Rowling was a classics major in college and an English major, a double major. Makes these kinds of classical references. Leontes is in the position of that old king who wants to get rid of the king. Or actually, if you're thought, there's in one of the four Christian Gospels, there's a version of this story too, where King Herod tries to stop the infant Jesus from being born or from getting far from birth. And when he can't find his soldiers can't find the infant Jesus, they just take out all the kids in Bethlehem. Um, Enjoy your winter holiday season. That's a sad tale for winter. This tale, A Sad Tale's Best for Winter, a winter tale isn't the saddest version of this. The fact the child comes back and reconciles with the parent is something different. So is the fact that the for once the oracle or the dream it's a dream, it's a prophecy. This one the oracle tries to straighten the tyrannical monarch out. Um, what is very clear here is that Leontes is both a bad parent, a bad husband, and a bad monarch, all for the same reasons. That tyranny starts at home. And there's something fundamental here about in this folktale pattern about kings who don't want to let the next generation have power. Leontes is the story of a king who is fighting, who kind of loses his mind when his wife is pregnant, who is struggling against his own mortality, who's looking back to his shared youth with Polixenes, who wishes to be, as in the quote that Bloom picks for her article, boy forever, who gradually accepts his own mortality and accepts what is left at the end of his life, becomes a father at the end once his child is already grown. Is that a complaint? Should we stop making videos? Okay. Exit pursued by a bear or not.